Olga show for you, live on air, 92.3 FM. You can find us on the computer, u923fm.com. Also, if you search Ustream, you can see us live right now. And later you can find us on YouTube under Olga show. We have a guest, but before we come back to our guest, Marshall Childs, Fun Division, we would like to play the music for you because it's a wonderful Russian festival coming up in Saratoga, September 29th. And stay tuned. After the music, I will give you more details.
Yes, it's Russian music. It's a very beautiful music by Michael Kruk. It's called Domes, meaning church domes. Here it goes.
Кто-то можешь объявить Игорь Круг. Нет, не Игорь Круг. Другой?
Михаил Крук.
Михаил Круг. Как называется Russian Doms?
Купола.
Doms.
Дом. Дом это купол, по-моему. Кольщик, на колени купола. Рядом чудотворный крест.
Найди мне это информацию Russian Festival. Я не знаю,
He's a cancer survivor. You know that?
Yeah, he was actually sick when I found him, or he found me. He was still sick, and now apparently he's doing well. That's the Skolkovo guy. There will be a lot of people coming from Skolkovo.
You have a movie out? You have a movie now?
Yes. Not only that, and I'm channel 15 every Tuesday and Thursday in Russian and in English.
Wow, this is
You're a Russian
Yeah.
TV channel?
Yeah. If not, I will make one. Are you kidding me?
There's already a network, right?
Network.
There's already like...
I cannot see. Can you do it like somewhere?
It has to be
Every
Russian
Tuesday.
shows.
Thursday we have Russian show, and but where is this coverage? I cannot read the coverage.
So it's in that DVD.
Yeah, this is DVD. So
What's it about? What's in it?
this is about Russian Silicon Valley. A lot of them come into TechCrunch companies. Because last year I announced here, I went to TechCrunch, we had companies from Korea, Brazil, Peru, China, but no Russians. Where's Russians? Now they have a whole bunch of Russians coming in. They're listening, believe me, they listen, and they listen very carefully what I have to say.
Nice.
So now they're coming there, and of course I will be covering them up. Some will be here, the best one.
You're going to lead them in the right direction.
Absolutely.
You're
I'm
gonna
a
be the
good
leader.
influence. The person becoming vegetarian more than I should possibly know.
No, I won't be having
Well, at least you eat mushrooms
You guys can
and
start a
carrots and
Russian
more.
uprising in the tech industry.
So I cannot find the time. They will be on September 29th. After the church, probably.
There is a
I can ask you,
schedule.
how did you drop the Russian like music? Did you have the chance to listen to the Russian music or something like that?
No, just to check the music, that's all.
Может, вам это поможет?
Okay.
Just to check music on the kabasi. I couldn't even eat it. It was so spicy. They tried to get me to drink Russian, so I checked beer and I couldn't handle it. You'd always be giving me a check beer and I just always be...
20 seconds.
20 seconds. So you're missing out a lot by having fun. Too much fun somewhere.
It took me out to see it.
We're having fun and we're working. Now we have to be paid according to our fun and work, and we're done.
You ready? Or you can fund a vision.
Yes, hello everyone again who join us in Olga show for you every Saturday night live. You can call us at 408-912-5265, 408-912-5265. So you can find more information by checking YouTube or Ustream. under Olga Show. Yes, if you want to see us, what we are doing in the studio right now, right at this moment, we are on Ustream. So we're streaming live, okay? And that was wonderful music by Mikhail Kruk, who unfortunately passed away, great composer and also a singer, and it's called Domes. I played this specifically because I want to invite all friends and who wants to see Russian festival, which will be coming up to St. Nicholas Orthodox Church in Saratoga, which is St. Nicholas Orthodox Church, September 29th from 11 to 7 p.m. and Sunday, September 30th from 12 to 4 p.m. We will be having programming in Russian language and performers from 7 to 9 p.m. So join tune. We're gonna have them here in our studio today, and so we will cover it more. Meanwhile, we're coming back to Marshall. Hello again. And we started to talk about fun stuff and business ideas and companies. I know it's kind of hard to talk about starting the company, and especially when companies fails. Then what?
Well, there's a huge failure rate of companies, and anyone that's read the statistics on it, you say if you make it past the first year, you're like 1 in 100.
1 in 100.
Yeah, something like that. It's like 1 in 100 people make it past the first year in business, and second year even more fall off. So you're looking at very narrow odds. And one of the reasons that people don't do well in business because they don't realize how they need to allocate themselves. They look at the wrong image. They get the wrong idea of how much money it's going to take. Like we talked about, you want to figure in at least 3 months of money that's going to be there. Take care of your personal expenses. If you can't take care of your personal expenses, then you're really going to be miserable. And the other one is if you're in a relationship where you're married, you've got to have their buy-in with it. You can't just decide to do this and tell them later. You've really got to have everybody on board with you. And that might be the first thing you want to do. Go talk to everybody, ask everybody if they're going to support you with your endeavor, what you're up to. And it's the beginning of a business when you do that. It's actually getting partners, getting customers, getting relationships. It's all of that stuff combined. And the biggest thing of all is that most companies fail because they have no idea how to spend money. That is probably the biggest cause of failure. Here in the Valley, it's just rampant for the same reason. Companies will get money and they won't make it because they don't understand what it really takes to make a business run. So one of the things we've done to help businesses like this is we've created a table, actually a financial statement looking at many thousands of business. We got data from the IRS, and it tells you if you're going to open a business, this is what it's going to cost you. So you have to look at how much you're going to spend in different areas, and that's part of the service that we offer. So now you know how to plan your life accordingly. Just because you got, it's like the get rich thing. Like I got the credit card in the mail, I can go charge my fancy electronic device on it, and then until the bill comes in, you're doing right, doing really well. But the key is when you get the money, understand where the money needs to go and how it needs to be earning the next dollar that you're going to be making. So by allocating money well and understanding how a financial plan can work in your business, it's going to go a lot better, and you're going to be a lot happier with the outcome. There's no reason that a company, for the best part, barring there's some companies that take a long time, as we talked about the pharmas, take a long time because of FDA approvals. There's no reason you can't you can get close to your first million in a year.
Okay, what about Second Life for a company? What is this?
Second Life is where we actually back the funds that are invested in the company. People that if you're working with investors, or even if you're working with your own money, because if you work with your own money, as soon as it's gone, it's gone. So if you work through our program, then let's just say you put in your money to start your company, and then it didn't go like you planned. Okay, something happened, and now you want to know, what can I do? So if it's investors, you go back to the investors and you say, well, we didn't do it this year, but if you put more money in, we'll do it next year. I mean, it doesn't go well. So what we have done is we protected the money so that the investors don't lose their money out of the first year, and you can get a second life. So you can get a second chance at your business. and you don't completely fail in the first year, you actually have a chance for the next year.
What is Second Life for investor?
It's the same. The investor would get the same treatment. So the investor sees that they haven't lost their money is still there, and they may choose to put more money in. Their investment's still safe, and they can see that maybe you do need a little bit more money to make this work. And if you're able to demonstrate the progress and you're able to demonstrate the milestones to them, in other words, you're going to make certain things by certain amounts of time, and you're going to prove it to them. And the way you want to consider that is that you want to have good reporting. You want to have good financial reporting, and you want to have firm goals. So when you're trying to reestablish trust after a setback, you want to reassure people that you have things well managed. And the way to do that is to accomplish a goal and show evidence of accomplishment of the goal.
Now, when we talk about ownership, how much the startup should give away?
Well, I'm in favor of very little, and because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. The model right now is that you can give up a huge amount of ownership and still make millions of dollars. This is like the fairy tale. You're not going to do that. By the time you go through many rounds of funding, you've given up so much of the ownership, your profit looks very small, especially for the other founders. It looks very small. And I've talked to many founders, and they come away with a little bit of money, which is nice, but it's good enough just to either go start another startup or go get another job, and it's not really that rewarding. So, other than the experience itself, of course, but so what you want to look at is how much money you're going to need over time, and you're giving away and what the cost of that is. By owning your company as much as possible, you have that control. If you manage the money well, if you manage the company well, you don't have to go for emergency money. And emergency money is, guess what? It's always expensive, and people are going to take a chunk when you do. So you're looking at under 10% is what you should really think about. If somebody comes along and you see the potential to go from $1 million a year to a $100 million a year company and give away a lot of ownership, that's another consideration. But that's not everybody.
So how important for investors to see a plan?
Investors want to see the plan. They don't want to just tell about how the product is going to work. They don't want to see a bunch of other ideas. What they really want to see in the plan is they want to see the milestones. They want to see how you're going to accomplish this and how you have the abilities to be able to meet these demands. Some people like to talk about team. And when they talk about team, they're talking about people that are qualified to make this work. You might have a history of it, or you might have an ability of it. So are you the person that's going to execute to make this happen, or are you trying to figure something out? The learning curve, something you don't know, is huge. Something you do know, you're going to make money quickly.
What about milestones?
The milestones are everything, as I keep saying over and over. Oh, you're so great. You asked me about the milestones again. Thank you. And it's like you should set goals about when you're going to make money and when you're going to have certain parts of your product on the marketplace and what the markets are going to look like, and be able to say in a financial plan, I have met my goals by this time, by that month, by that quarter, whatever that is. And you have to demonstrate that to your investors. So if I am a company and you are my investor, Olga, oh my gosh, you would be the best investor ever. But,
okay, I'm not gonna ask why, but okay, because
well,
my imagination goes wild here.
Well, she's excited. I mean, it's really great
yeah,
to
I'm
have.
excited to be investor. Yes.
Yeah, well, it's good to have people like Olga be investors because they're high energy. They believe in what you're doing. They always support you, and that's the kind of people you want on your team. You want to know those kind of people. You be surrounded by those kind of people. So that's why I'm saying you're great. Even just an advisor, you'd be really great. But and I encourage everybody to know Olga. It's a great experience.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's funny, but yeah, I try to be positive as much as I could possibly be. Yes, instead of putting people down where they probably are already, maybe I can guide them through the darkness of the forest, or ideas, or bad times. Yes, it's easier for me to do. as I went through all of those dark times in my life.
And
more to come, I guess, and I'm okay with that.
and that's the kind of people you want to know. There's different kinds of people you can know in your life that'll be contributions, and you definitely want people that are going to support you in a positive way, and sometimes that's more important than money.
Thank you. What about 90% of new companies who are over-asking and underestimating?
I always hear this conversation. I've talked to thousands of startup companies. I've sat on panels with people asking for money, and I talk to several people a day, and they're always saying, I only need a few $1 million to get my idea off the ground. And I look at what their lifestyle looks like. Well, they're not already a millionaire, by the way. So they don't really understand what $1 million looks like and how hard that money is to come by for somebody else. They may have come through different stages, like we talked about, dark times in your life, that they've made that money, and they have an understanding of it. Or do you have an understanding as a small company of what that money really means? So you're asking for something that you're going back to how we figure our industry financials and how much you really need to spend on something. You're looking at a far less factor, maybe 30% of all the money you get is going to be spent on product development. You need to work out a plan how product development is going to be a small factor in everything else. You need to spend a lot of money on other things. I mean, one of the most important things is to spend money on marketing. You have to have a market to be able to sell the product, and you have to know what the market is to be able to sell the product. So when you get money, the first thing you should start doing is understanding your market, penetrate your market, start selling to your market, get preliminary orders, get people excited, line people up, and then that way, their first product run, rather than coming up with a great idea and then spending a lot of time developing it and then having a customer come in and say, can you change it? Now you're looking at more money, so you're doubling up on your production time. Then on the other hand, you might say, a customer might say, well, we can do that, but that's not our business model. You want to really look at those kind of things. Don't go outside your model. Some people will, for example, some people will go after grant money, and they'll try to figure out how they can make their company fit into a grant application. You need to be really careful there, because grants are very stringent. They expect you to meet rigid guidelines, and you don't want to give up your dream just to get money. You want to make sure that you're following your money. Remember that investors want, the most important thing that investors want, they want to know how they're going to make money on your idea. When you show that you have a market for what you believe in, and people are willing to buy it, and it's going to make money, and you can show that on a chart or on a graph, and really prove that to an investor, the investor is going to feel a lot more comfortable. And your first investment's not going to be $1 million, by the way. It's probably going to look more like $50,000 to $250,000.
So when a company grows bigger, should the company want to buy back equity given to investors?
There's a rule of thumb about this, that what you want to do in the beginning is you want to give people not equity, but you want to give them you want to make a loan with them. So we call this convertibles, and there's several different forms of that. In finance, we call it warrants. We have different terms that we use. So it's a promise to give stock at a later date. The investors don't want to see stock on day one, because stock on day one is very, very small. And you don't want to give them stock on day one, because it might be a huge portion of your stock. You want to wait for the price of the stock to be really worth something, so that you're not giving away a big chunk of it. And then at the same time, you want to reward your investors. So you would usually give them an interest-bearing kind of thing. That would be a convertible note. We call it convertible notes. That's one of the terms used. And that way, later on, it will convert into stock. There's some other things that you need to know about taxes that we can discuss about that. Convertible notes are, the interest on convertible note is taxable if you pay that money in increased stock distribution. There's ways to do that without taxes to your investors. This is where you get into this consulting layer. This is where you spend a little bit of money, not thousands of dollars, but you spend a little bit of money to understand this and talk to a few people. You want to have good people to advise you of these decisions without giving away your company.
So that would be advantage for the company?
Yeah, well, you want to consider and you were saying earlier, I went through a long explanation to get to how equity works, but you don't want to give away a lot of equity, and buying equity back is a good way to go. When you get down to the convertible note and the investor says, I'd really just get my money back plus interest, and you can do it, you should just give them their money back plus interest if that's something that you feel comfortable with. That way you own now more of the company.
So in terms of the interest, would it be no more than 10% per year, or
It's
it's
whatever you say.
negotiable?
With Olga, it would have to be a lot because she's good.
Okay, yeah, I would like to take a lot, but I also want to have it legal as well.
And Olga said it very well. I mean, she also wants to see you do well. She said that's what your investors are going to be. They
Right.
don't want you to give away too much, but they want you to be fair with them, and they'll be fair with you.
Right, and then of course you want to have a good reputation that if you're an investor, well, I guess, I don't know, should you care about the reputation as an investor? Or because money do a lot of things, or
Well,
doesn't matter?
it's like, what do you do with your money besides put it in the bank and put it in the market? I mean,
Spend it?
spend it. Besides go shopping with it, which is really
Yes.
fun. But it's something that's a lot more fun. It's a lot more interesting to be investing in companies. Once you feel that this is a good thing for you, that you feel comfortable that you're going to see a return on your money. This is I think, how many times we said that? 4 times, 5 times now?
Yeah.
So that's the first important
Average
part.
person will take it 9 times. So
9 times?
We still have
We still have a
few
few
more
left.
times, yes, to say it. So
Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to focus on that, and you want to have the investor realize that, and you want to keep that promise and keep them comfortable with getting back to them, telling them that you're meeting your milestones and the money looks good and you're going to make profit on this deal. That's what they want to hear. So that's really important that you do that. But then the investor is also your friend, somebody that's going to be excited about this. If you like sports, if you like this, it doesn't matter what you like. It's a game that you can watch. You can play along with it, and you actually know the founders. You actually know the people doing this. You can't get better than that. I mean, that's just the best game there is.
and what would you wish to our listeners and viewers?
I would say that there's a dream in everybody's heart, and you should follow your dream. It's Thoreau, and his poem, "The Distant Drummer." Follow. If you hear the beat of a distant drummer, then step to the music to which you hear, no matter how distant or far away. Don't give up on this. Hold your dreams, pursue your dreams, and share your dreams with other people. The most important thing is to share your dreams with people you care about and people that are good listeners.
Great. Well, thank you for coming to Olga's show. I appreciate your business and appreciate your ideas and sharing it with our listeners and viewers, which would be available on YouTube shortly after this interview, probably in about 48 hours. So watch Olga's show on YouTube, and you will find under Today's Day and Marshall Childs, and probably Fun Division, right? We will put key tag words.
Okay?
All right.
Sounds good. Thank
So,
you.
and I will come back to one of the things we received from our viewers. For instance, what does love mean? What children has to say about it? A group of professional people posed this question to a group of 4 through 8 years old. What does love mean? The answers they got were broader and deeper than anyone could have imagined. See what you think. Love is that first feeling you feel before all the bad stuff gets in the way. Next one. When my grandmother got arthritis, she couldn't bend over and paint her toenails anymore, so my grandfather does it for her all the time, even when his hands got arthritis too. That's love. When someone loves you the way they say your name is different, you know that your name is safe in their mouth. Love is when a girl puts a perfume and a boy puts on shaving cologne and they go out and smell each other. So that's children talking, okay? Love is when you go out to eat and give somebody most of your French fries without making them give you any of theirs. Love is when someone hurts you and you get so mad, but you don't yell at them because you know it would hurt their feelings. Love is what makes you smile when you are tired. Love is when my mommy makes coffee for my daddy and she takes a sip before giving it to him to make sure the taste is okay. Love is what is in the room with you at Christmas if you stop opening presents and listen. If you want to learn to love better, you should start with a friend who you hate. When you tell someone something bad about yourself and you are scared they won't love you anymore. But then you get surprised because not only do they still love you, they love you even more. Next, kids, phrases. There are two kinds of love, our love and God's love, but God makes both kinds of them. Love is when you tell a guy you like his shirt, then he wears it every day. Love is like a little old woman and a little old man who are still friends even after they know each other so well. During my piano recital, I was on the stage and scared. I looked at all the people watching me and saw my daddy waving and smiling. He was the only one doing that. I wasn't scared anymore. My mommy loves me more than anybody. You don't see anyone else kissing me to sleep at night. Love is when mom gives daddy the best piece of chicken. Love is when your puppy licks your face even after you left him alone all day. I let my big sister pick on me because my mom says she only picks on me because she loves me. So I pick on my baby sister because I love her. Love cards like Valentine's cards say stuff on them that we had liked to say ourselves, but we wouldn't be caught that saying. Okay, when you love somebody, your eyelashes go up and down and little stars come out of you. You really shouldn't say I love you unless you mean it, but if you mean it, you should say it a lot. People forget. God could have said magic words to make the nails fall off the cross, but he didn't. That's love. Okay, that was our English programming for Olga show, and you can find us live on the Ustream. We will have Russian speaking programming from 7 to 9 p.m. and you're welcome to join our guests in a moment. Otherwise, watch us on Ustream, U923 FM if you don't have live streaming of the video, so you can still hear us live on radio. Olga show with you every Saturday night live, and you can call us at 408-912-5265. Otherwise, search us olga-show.com or olgashow.org. You will have any contacting information. I know this site is down right now, got so many clicks that we will be searching for new web hosting providers. That happens, okay? So do great business and we're gonna stay with you. Olga Show.